Oh man, they really did. Usually we don't finish or start for another like 10 minutes
Yeah,
when
I
they actually
know.
get everyone on server, so that's a bit
Thank,
interesting to see, but hey,
thank
that's
fuck I'm not
a-okay.
at work today.
Yeah. Alright, this
Are you
is,
live?
yes, I just started.
Okay. I want to I want to pose you a question.
Okay.
Someone, a friend of mine who I don't talk to often. Um, they're the significant other of my good friend.
Does this have anything to do with FNF?
If you want to start start the FNF stuff, and then I'll do it after because we need to get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is round 1 of Friday Night Fights. I'm covering with SL Dream for round 1.
Hi.
We'll be covering all 3 rounds today of the early branch, and then I don't cover late branch, so we'll see how things go.
Give us a wiggle, goat daddy.
Nimia, thanks for the 33-month resub. Are you playing today with Scandy, or are you taking another day off? Because I know a few people are taking breaks, but looking at the units, looks like they've actually really divided amongst everything. So, nonetheless, Nim, thanks for the 33-month resub. Thanks for all the mod work you do on this channel. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. But regardless, let's go ahead and look at the briefing here. Dream, you want to read the briefing, or should I? Okay, go ahead.
Unagden coalition forces gathered in Fort Lancaster get surrounded following a massive offensive by the Scorch mercenaries hired by Kahanistan. A single company gets dispatched to besiege and destroy the Unagden entrenched positions, while the rest continue their offensive deep into Unagden territory.
All right, cool. Game mode here is going to be cache destruction. Blue 4 is defending 3 caches. Op 4 is trying to destroy said 3 caches. Mission variables here. Maximum render distance is 1,100 meters. No magnified optics nor NVG equipment. Defender build point is only 60, which for reference, the default number is 125. So that's a little less than half. Medium anti-tank settings for both sides is going to be RPG 32 with 2 rounds for Blue 4. And Op 4 is going to have RPG 7 with 2 AT and 1 HE rounds. They listed as per person, meaning the AT gunner and the assistant. Now that I think that Delta, there's been some roster changes here. So I'm trying to look. I do see AT in every group, though, but I think we're also going to see that in loadouts under light anti-tank. So how FNF works now is Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie are rifle squads. Delta is a machine gunner team, which have the heavy machine guns, and then, excuse me, the medium machine guns, and then Echo has the medium anti-tank, but I'm not seeing, okay, I do see that in Blue 4, I'm not seeing one in Op 4, though. Interesting.
And that was not met well with fan favorite Eander.
No, it was not, but oh well. Anyway, starting with Op 4, since they're the attacking side, they're going to be rocking the 2010 Middle Eastern Coalition Army Desert Camouflage, basically the whites and, you know, with the black and gray dots, which I always find funny because I also use as a winter camouflage. But to give a breakdown of the units here, we have Platoon Lead, Platoon Sergeant, Squad Leader, Team Leader, Auto Rifleman Assistant, Grenadier, Grenadier IR. We have the Hunt IR rounds, which are 40mm cameras. You fire into the air, parachute down, gives you a nice bird's eye view of the field. Machine Gunners, Machine Gunner Assistants. Machine Gunners are now only in Delta. Auto Riflemen are in Alpha through Charlie. Combat Engineers have the choice of 4 different items. They have 4 tripwire mines, which 2 are AT and 2 are flare, 3 AT mines, 2 explosive satchels, or 4 explosive charges. The satchels and charges can also be turned into throwables, where the satchel you can't really throw far, and the charge you can throw quite a bit, but not as far as a grenade. You have your light anti-tank, medium anti-tank, 1 in assist, medium anti-tank, 2 in assist, which I'm not sure if 2 in assist is a thing anymore, because it would just be under medium anti-tank 1 now, since it's only has 1 deployed here as MAT 1, so I think MAT 2 is now redundant, but I digress. Recon Infantry, Scout, and Sniper don't play in it anymore because they were part of a group called X-Ray, which got scrubbed out a while ago. Designated Marksman, which appears to be an SVD for Op 4. Crew Lead, Crewmen, Pilots, Medics, and the base kit. Otherwise, loadouts for Op 4 are going to be 103 AKs with Zentico rails for Western optics. Interesting. Or an AKS-74U if people want to really rock that. MP443 garages as the secondary. Light machine gunners get the RPK. Medium machine gunners in Delta get the PKP. Light anti-tanks going to be the RPG-7. I'd assume without HE rounds, but we'll see. Then Crew and Aviation get a choice of the PV-2000 or an AKS. Crew, aviation slots for assets get the following. Looks like we have 7 transport trucks, 2 BRDMs, and a BTR 70 in play, with a KPTV and a PKT. But you can see these vehicles deployed right here, different camos, and then there's the BTR. So that's just a lot of heavy firepower that's going to be mobile for the players down here. So we'll see how things go. But looking at the roster, we have Pierce commanding, with Fonz as the 2IC, Holton as the 3IC. I forget the exact breakdown of the ground command team here, but you have these different 2ICs here under command. And then you have a command medic as well. Well, Fonz and Holton are both an officer slot, so I don't know who the 2IC is, and I don't know what the third officer slot is, but I digress. Alpha has Yanni leading, with K-Cure as the second in command, Nemesis as the marksman. That's what they do. They have marksmen as part of the command team now. And then Flying Finn as the squad medic. And then there's no medics in the teams. But you got King leading Alpha 1 with Bronson, Iander, Kazuel, Malin, Ban, and Novix. So Yanni sent me a message saying Papagan and Scandi combined for this one as like a single group to slot. So let's see if that has any weighing conditions on the rounds. But we got Whiplash, Roster, Dobbs, Katz, and Cullis in Alpha 2. Bravo has Valentarian leading with Zali as the 2IC, Daedalur as the marksman, and Flaninja as the medic. Lenaru leading Bravo 1 with Zombie Forever, Skits, and Roofy. And then Bravo 2 has Norris leading Iqbal and Cliff. Charlie being led by Pete with no 2IC, Jabby as the marksman, Revolk as the medic. Solomon's under Charlie 1 with Green Shade, Gogu, Crazy, and Rapier under him. And Driri leading Charlie 2 with Warkus, Ravenberg, and Cheviak under him. Delta, which looks like it's merged everyone together as the weapon team, has Oddball leading Jack, Cat, Morgan, Hamilton, Misfit, Lurch, Mail, and Madman Pete under him.
Are they still allowed to do that? I don't know if you'll know, but I remember seeing something recently. Yeah, I remember seeing something recently where they said squads aren't allowed to group up into big blobs anymore.
Well, I mean, I still see it happening, so I don't know. And then we have a single vehicle crew with Fred, Korvac, and Mackenzie. Not sure if they'll take the BTR or one of the BRDMs based off the fact it's one crew. I'm assuming they're taking the BTR, and then the BRDMs are given to other assets, or maybe command's going to divide themselves to have two-man crews to drive those. Otherwise, that is it for Op 4. Had to hold in a sneeze for half a second. Let's go ahead and look at Blue 4. Blue 4 is going to have for uniforms modern Iranian camouflage. Loadout's going to be a mix of G3s and M4A1s, so a mix of 7.62x51 rifles and M4556. Interesting. 1911s as a secondary handgun, probably the weakest one in my opinion because it only has 7 rounds per mag. And for handguns, you do need a lot of shots for that thing to even really plink at anyone in FNF, but I digress. Light machine guns are going to be the RPK. Medium machine guns are going to be MG3s on defense. That is the best thing you could have as the defending faction because you don't need to hog that thing around. You can just set it up somewhere and go ham. Light anti-tanks also going to be RPGs, and then we've got MP7s and M4A1s for crew and aviation, but I don't think they have any assets that can do that. Yeah, so the M2 HBs are sit-down 50 cals. The M2 HB M3 AA variant is the standing one, so they just have 3 50 cals, 2 transport Humvees, and that is it. Otherwise, looking on their roster, we have the following Kiri commanding with Slushy, Lolo, and Shy as Alpha's lead. Lolo is going to be the marksman. Looks like he has a PSGH as the rifle. They're basically just a lawn G3 rifle. Mutant going to be leading Alpha 1 with Olaf, Simpy, Reapers and Sandy Sam, Wayne, Seismo, Lolo. Looks like they just merged Alpha 1 and Alpha together. The trenches were nice and neat on the submitted mission, but Banks messed up the settings and local only. He apologizes to Depso and you all. So apparently these trenches are possibly busted. That's not good.
Oh, I guess they're just flying or out of place.
Yeah, or maybe they were using Deformer for some of them, and because I see certain areas where the trenches don't go as low as they're supposed to. So maybe they screwed Deformer up or something, but that's a shame. I mean, these do look pretty nice to utilize, but even still, looks like some areas are good, but some are not. But digression aside, Bravo's also merged. It's Vexen leading a bunch of W2 guys, or WT guys, excuse me, with MFL, Sulk, Pingus, Bronska,
Super Squad of Death and Destruction has
Albert.
been created. Your gods have arrived, and they want death.
1 second. Malin with his 50-month resub saying that SR and PP Super Squad of Death and Destruction has been created because they merged for today, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh,
but
God.
Vexen leading MFL, Solak, Pingus, Gerzanka, Zargajinka, Albuquerque, Pertrovsky, and Snafarino. I butchered all of those. NASA leading Charlie with Ivno, Ezio, and Pogo _ under him. Bluck, Demovar, Kermit, and Rigel under Charlie 1. Charlie 2 is Ash, Banks, Wheaton, Major Khan, Arcor, and Vagrant under him. Newton leading Delta. Delta 1 having Nicholas, Heartseer, Raposo, Martinez, and Khalil. And then Timek with Depso and Eric Hiru as an Echo team, which means they have the medium anti-tank. Which I guess is needed for Blue 4 to snipe those 3 vehicles. But nonetheless, that is pretty much it. There's 2 search areas on the top right, 1 search area on the bottom left, with just a bunch of stuff going around. But Dream, do you have anything to add?
No, though the PP and I mean, well, they've proven they can work well in the past. So I honestly don't think Blue 4 have much of a chance if they can get on.
Yes, but Pierce is leading.
Wavelengths.
And I know a lot of people in my chat have a problem with Pierce, so...
Yeah, but it's about the squads, not the commander.
True. But I've also seen in FNF, if you have a bad plan, it doesn't matter what the squads do at that point. But looking at the AO, it's a lot of open areas to defend, which is the concerning part.
Though I will say, I don't know, being on the ground, because I've been playing ground a lot more. I mean, I haven't been here the last 2 Fridays, but playing on the ground, it's all about like the defilade, the little drops, the little bumps, which you can see if you go low enough that there's a bunch of here. So all Pierce really has to do is not rush them all in at once, and then give PP and Scandi a nice, plan of attack. But again, Pierce. And that's no offense to Pierce. But if something happens more than 3 times, you can't ignore it.
Look, I think we have some... Oh, hey, if you look on the southwestern side of the AO, you'll see that the road has been blocked. Mission Maker, no.
No.
There's a rule in FNF where you're not allowed to block roads or doorways and stuff, and I joke about that when I see it in certain missions. But looks like Blue 4 at Sam Simpy Seismo Reapers, they're trying to build a fortification here, but they can't get the trench down correctly, so now they've got some floating sandbags in play, which is quite funny. But I kid.
But to be fair, Liru, if you're a vehicle pulling up that close to the objective, you're not going to have to worry too much about the roadblock.
Yep.
I think so.
Nonetheless, Op 4 is, we'll probably see them convoy in. I'd imagine they're just going to follow the MSR, take Outpost Little first, and then go to Lancaster. But it looks like Blue 4 is going to abandon Outpost Little and just pull back and hold the trenches defensives. And I don't blame them for that. That's a pretty good call to do, in my opinion. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Yeah, righto, Jack.
Looking at Mutambara, there's 2 MSRs that lead, one straight to Lancaster, one straight to Little, so they could just go for Lancaster, as I'm sure Pierce,
my man,
though again, a little bit of a reputation. He's a seasoned commander. He'll know what positions are worst and probably what positions they're likely more to leave. So,
look, we'll see. I mean, just with this type of AO, as we've said, it's a lot of open ground. There's some good concealment here and there. There's some good defilade on certain angles, but it's really hard to read on the map here because even scrolling in, you can't really tell these defilade lines. It all just looks flat. So it's going to be... How would I put it?
You could make the argument that the trees are there, but these are the trees that your arms stick out between. These aren't trees that are very, very useful for cover. I mean, yeah, they can be a well-placed smoke and something else, but these trees, if you sit behind one, good chance you're not going to survive very long if you try to use it as a actual position.
We'll see. I think Blue 4 is just going to put all their eggs in one basket here, hold this nice defensive area. They might have the numbers to hold it entirely, but I think what Pierce needs to do is attack it from multiple different angles and see where he can break through, which normally I would be against, But in this particular instance, just because there's no good one way to come into this AO, you have to do that in this field. Now,
Okay, so
yep.
initially, I'm just saying that Alpha are breaking off straight to the right, which obviously is, I think that makes you think they're going to go straight for Lancaster, or they're just not going to bother following the MSR at all. And no, okay, so they are moving back onto the MSR, so it probably will be a
Was
Lancaster.
there a roadblock there, or are they just being silly?
No, they just decided to not take the road and
That's
instead
okay.
do the exact, like take the exact same route, but this time not on a road.
Again, kind of silly, but sure.
Yeah, they're going Lancaster first. Unless another team is going to go to Little, like Charlie or Delta.
No, I'd imagine whoever was in front took his line literally or something as he was trying to give an example line, so he like put it under and the convoy followed under for some silly reason. So they're going to attack Lancaster first.
You have a lot of power if you're the leader of a convoy, and right now I have no clue what he's doing.
A little worried though, we got 2 sets of barbed wire. Wait, what?
Look at Alpha.
Yeah, they're
Leaving.
We have some barbed wire right next to the road here. Why are they just what?
What?
They're gonna do a wide. No, they're gonna go in the riverbed, and they're gonna go up north on the riverbed, and then just do this massive push around. Are they?
Get ready for another 45-minute round. Fucking whatever. I don't know.
Look, I get it. Tactically, it makes sense, but
we're not in war. We're playing a video game.
This is a video game, and you cannot read the map from any specific angle, so you have to treat this all as flat land. So you need to basically do a concave attack to find where the inn is, or you need to consider attacking from multiple different directions. So you can try to find the best route of approach and be ready to pull your guys back with smoke and reposition them. But having a they're literally going to go up the riverbed. Why?
How many times have we seen
There's
this?
no point in going up the riverbed here. It's way too out of position. This is just going to literally eat time.
And as what I'm looking here, Bravo, who are a relatively small group, are breaking off to go. So Bravo are going to make it there first. If they get spotted, it throws Op4's entire plan into disarray. Because if you want this to work, then you need
I'd imagine Bravo's just pulling security for their movement right now. Hold up, wait, they're adjusting north. They might just be keeping the riverbed on their right and just getting into formation right now.
Yeah, I do hope Pierce is going
I hope that is the case.
No point, because there's no point.
Yeah.
It's like, they're not going to see you coming if you take the trees.
It's quite possible he just actually did that to get his forces separated out. Because again, I would say just a concave battle line here would be your best bet, or just attacking from multiple different directions.
You know what? In the CL chat the other day, they were discussing tactics and stuff, and Pierce, with like a one-liner, chimed in and went all proper battle lines, and you know, it
is a Pierce plan battle line. It's looking like it's going to be a Pierce plan battle line. Here's the thing, though. I'm actually not going to knock it here, because look at what he's doing. He's got an MSR in his formation, so he's got room to field his vehicles in open territory and just literally attack the south.
Yeah, I think.
But with vehicle support to suppress the trench line, this could work.
I think we were a little bit too quick to judge. It is still going to be a bit of a drawn-out plan, but
well, because here's the deal. Again, look at the south though. Look at the south though. You've got multiple clusters of buildings. You've got clusters of black squares on the map indicating there's custom place stuff. So there is cover to move up this route. And then you've got the MSR to field your Vixen as fire support. This could work.
Okay, you are right, but the black dots are rocks.
Which again, even better. That gives you hard cover.
It does, but I would prefer if they were a little bit more northwest instead of being so deep into the tree line, because
it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing. Yeah, I'm not saying it isn't, but when you literally move northwest and you leave that cover, you don't have any more cover until.
So again, then you'd have to rely on your 3 KPTVs on your 3 Vix to basically suppress the bunker line. A saving grace here, though, is Blue 4 is not really covering their south for some reason. And Simpy also almost blew himself up with a grenade. That's cute.
Brilliant. I don't know. I guess maybe they just don't think they're going to come in for the south push, but I feel like after a few minutes have passed, you just kind of have to go, where are they? Charlie 1 have taken up like this nice position, but I know what it's for. I know what the position's for. I understand why the mission maker did it, but I don't think it's going to help Blue 4 at all. They're going to have to flush one way. Obviously, we have the fact that we're in a spectator mode and we can see where one team is coming from. But it still poses the question that if they were Blue 4, if they were coming from the southwest, Blue 4 would be able to pull back. But now that they're coming from the southeast, they have given themselves a wide gap to move to. Alternatively, if they come in from the south and start taking over Lancaster, they can move to Outpost Little, but just look at it. It's going to get overrun. So I think putting your Blue 4 units closer to Lancaster would have been... I mean, it's not that far. I'm making it sound like it's like 3 kilometers. It's like 600 meters. But no, I don't command, so...
I don't know, I just commentate here.
Yeah, I just shoot people every now and then disappear for...
So right off the bat, we have the central of this formation bulging up a bit. The right flank is, I guess, going to wrap around, but
it's way too congested in there. I know what Pierce was going for, splitting his units into like 3 distinct points, but Charlie and Bravo are so close, and now Alpha and Charlie have such a wide split between them.
Why is Malin alone in a truck again? I guess. And then we've got the BTR on the rear. Did they not bring the second BRDM?
The second BRDM is...
it's back at base.
Yeah. What?
We have a single BRDM next to the MSR. We have the BTR on the rear for some reason, I guess in reserve. But the second BRDM was not taken.
Why?
Maybe they didn't have the infantry to field it. I mean, again, 3, I guess. You could, instead of evenly distributing them along the line, you can just focus on locking the MSR down with your central force, using your far left and right flanks to wrap around and harass different parts of the fortification to try to cut off a piece so you can get your guys right up to it and break through, but it's costly.
Yeah, what I will notice is if you look at Sleshy, he is Blue 4... Alpha 1 at the bottom. He's the medic. He's set up this little position facing to the north, but he's got nothing on his south, which fair enough, I guess, but putting the 50 cal up there, like Blue 4 are lucky here that they didn't bring the third one.
Shots started. Blue 4 firing down on Op 4.
Is he? I think it's just Eric shooting. Yeah, his bullets aren't going through it. At least unless my thing's not working. See, now you'll see this like panic movement. Yep.
So now you're hearing the MG3 starting to suppress. Got the 50 cals turned to face south now, laying in wait for anything that comes up, but you're starting to see the concave on Op 4 as the right side is now breaking off to attack from a different angle.
But they've been spotted.
Yep. Now the standing 50 cal is suppressing in their direction, but not far enough. Hey, Shark, welcome.
The BTR is following up Alf. No, he's not. He's still sitting in reserve.
I think he's just trying to trek the forest right now, or potentially follow whatever orders he's being given right now. But the other groups of the battle line are holding right now. As I say that, we're seeing Charlie starting to push. I thought they were waiting for Alpha to get into position here. We could see a decent pincer from right here, but again, this is just Scandy trying to feel out a way to come up. Maybe they can use the elephant grass that they're coming up on to get close, but that's all concealment.
Why would... It's interesting Blue 4 didn't stick anyone in the forest. I understand why keeping troops close, but they did have quite a lot of ground to move and have a forward team, but there is value in keeping your troops together.
Mm-hmm. I do see a lot of bullets just getting sprayed in various directions here. There's a lot of crossfire. I'm waiting to see if Charlie for Blue 4 is going to be called in to reinforce, or if they're going to be forced to pull back to hold the other objective. That's going to be entirely up to Curie, though.
Have our first death.
Yep, Heartseer on the rooftop was picked out, probably by a marksman. So Bravo's in their vicinity. If I were to look at Dadler, he did not get that kill. All right, I don't know who got him then.
To be fair, if looking at this, I think the point I brought up earlier about the lower, like the low grounds, like the little bits of pockets of space. I think that's probably why there's just some random shooting going on.
So one thing I wanted to ask Malin, because he's in my chat, did they fix stamina, or is stamina still like utter dog shit right now? Because if stamina is still busted, then doing an advance like this is going to be near suicidal, because you're not going to be able to have the stamina to charge up.
I heard about that. What happened?
It's still bad. It will be adjusted for next week. Yeah, so that's going to make it even tougher for Op4 to push in here, because they're starting to run out of room, but they're going to be in striking range of Blue 4, so unless they push up with smokes, which I see some groups starting to do, well, I have to see what they go with.
I heard about that. Can you just give me a brief, like, what was happening?
Stamina is really hard to work with right now, so...
Was that an Arma fault, or
was it... F&F fault.
When in doubt, I'm Marlon.
Yep. So we're starting to have RPGs launched on the compound here. Blue 4 still holding as best they can on this defensive line. Driving Scandy now starting to appropriate the tall grass with Pepega. We could see them sneak in here, though. There isn't that much of a defensive line remaining on the northern side. We could see them try to flank. My fear here is Op4 takes too many casualties, and then Charlie pulls back and has the numbers to hold off any small attack that comes up. But now we have the BRDM coming up the MSR and suppressing. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And the BTR is also on the rear, moving to the MSR. It might reinforce the BRDM and try to come up.
The good thing about this is now that Red 4 has disjointed Blue 4 and caused them to just, like, kind of break their lines a little bit, this is where the vehicle units will be their best, because they won't have, like, a stable AT.
Yep. And I mean, the vehicles are being supported by the infantry right now. This is the best place you can have your vehicles. We rarely see that in FNF, which is quite nice. But Alpha is continuing to wrap around. They're going to probably attack from the opposite side, thinking that Blue Force pulled all their defensive lines to the south, thinking that's the full attack. Especially considering it's Pierce, I don't blame them. So that is a perfect use of Scandy there to sneak right in and hit the rear line, because they are the best troops down here with Pepega.
I'm looking at Depso right now, the closest map to the front, and he can't get a look in. Every time he peeks out, he just gets shot at by the Golf vehicle. Another death check. We do have another one, WT Zagrienik.
Yep.
And Martinez, also down. Red 4 have had no casualties yet, bar Marlon, but I'm fairly certain Marlon killed himself.
Yeah, his POV got bugged again, so when he leaves a vehicle after he does admin things, sometimes his client breaks, he's not spotted. Also, fun fact, they're throwing so many smoke grenades that the smokes aren't effectively working now because they've hit the maximum particle use on the server. So they're still trying to move up, but now we need to see Scandy push. They got to be careful, though, because the crossfire between Scandy and Pepega might spook them, but we're starting to see Op4 taking heavy fire. Hold up, Charlie 2 is going to be counterattacking the left flank of the main attack.
They've actually got someone down already. Skits. BTR currently has its engine facing towards the enemy.
But vehicles are advanced. Yeah, no, so the BTR is turned around. Not sure what that's about. BRDM advancing with the infantry here. Scandy now has, with Pepega, broken around, and now they're starting to advance from the northern side. Blue 4 doesn't really know what to do here.
Kremit's the closest at the moment. Very close. Actually, he's getting, I think he's been spotted right now. Nade goes out. Is that a nade or a smoke? That's a smoke. Kremit's being shot at, but he's being saved by a tiny little tree. Don't peek it, Kremit. Please don't peek it. I take it back.
Yeah, I think Scandy has done a really good job here with pushing around. We just saw Yanni go down to a nade, but now Scandy Pepega getting on the rear of these defensive lines. And we still have another group that's going to come around, but this is causing that internal defense line to come around. Bayant, though, he's coming in. Hitting some of these groups with CQC here. That's going to completely break this defensive line here.
This is where PP will shine on the CQC aspect of things.
I was a little worried about the Charlie counterattack, but half of them are broken apart. But this is allowing, now that the defensive line on the southern side is folding back north to try to cover against this new attack, that's completely broken that line, and now Op4 is going to be able to speed through. Yes, part of Bravo 1 is going to be held and engaged with Charlie 2, but now we can just see Op4 rush the rest of these objectives now that so many people have broken through. But you're seeing those smoke effects just breaking apart here.
The perfect plan was chosen for this AO. Like, a little bit unfair to the defenders, but I guess the scenario matches that. But
no, I think if the defenders had Charlie 2 on defense just covering their flank, they would have been fine.
I guess they technically were, but they were, like I said, they were way too far.
Yeah, Blue 4 just had too many people outside of the sector, and that's what screwed them. Naps just went down. Now you're having Bayant trying to flank here, but Blue 4 are just getting cut down. Yes, they're getting a few Op4 kills, but now the numbers are slowly falling.
It's 2-1 right now.
Yeah, it's... The slaughter is happening just because they were able to stretch Blue 4 too thin.
Here comes the BTR.
And...
he's on his way.
Even if it wasn't Scandy Pepega on that northern attack, I think the numbers, it's the action of pulling everyone from the southern defensive line back north. Even if that group got slaughtered, you would still have the remainder of all of Op4 pushing in and get right on top of the objectives. Then you just need a vehicle to go down to the other spot and clean it up.
I think Scandy's move and just their movement in general mixed in
We'll have to trade with that guy.
CQC aggressiveness.
Oh, yeah.
They just did not have a chance.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They're still taking a fair bit of casualties here, though. But it's just that combination of some of the best players you have on the server.
Cats smells Kerry and Olaf. Smell them. No, we can't.
That's a
Oh,
hydrate.
they found the... Why is Roster not shooting it? Roster has an RPG and he's not shooting the objective.
Cats is trying to put grenades on the cache, but Olaf's trying to cover because he woke back up.
Oh.
Okay, that was a satchel. Never mind.
And here goes Golf 2, making their way to the last objective. Hopefully they will be able to shoot it.
Yeah, they're basically rushing for that one. They're gonna have to find it and mag dump it. Meanwhile, some of Bravo 1 for Op 4 is getting cleaned up by the Blue 4 out here, but I think this will be GG in 5 minutes.
I think Golf 2 were riding through just to see if anyone responds to them. But they'll find no response.
Now Carey's trying to hold this building on his own. He's gonna try to push out, but he is somehow just dodging all of this fire. He's coming around with that G3. Yeah, shot from too many angles here. Bant just traded with another guy. I'm just looking at the map right here. All the Op 4 in the sector. You do have the BTR kind of driving around right here, taking fire.
I think they might have had a charge on the...
No AT.
Holland just walked into the building and then something exploded.
I'm not sure if they'll have the firepower to actually destroy that cache in time, but...
It's not going to do anything. It's 9mm.
Other cache is getting mag dumped by Pepega.
If he can angle the gunner...
Yep.
With that 12.7, it might work.
With the 14.5, yeah, he might be able to penetrate.
14.7. 14.5. Oh, no, he did it. With a PP2000.
Nice. Okay, I guess you can get it with that. And then the last cache is still being blown up. Pepega might be confused, thinking that cache was destroyed with the pop-up.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. They've still got 30 minutes.
Yeah. I got Khalil breaching the trench line here.
Oh, here goes King.
King's moving back, realizing that the sector's still there. Yep. He's throwing grenades in. Nope. Just mag dumped the damn thing. Yeah, fun fact, grenades actually do not do a lot of damage to caches. It's bullets that do it. And there you go at 22 minutes. I think Curie needed... Like, he had the right idea of having a force come in to flank the attacking action. And normally against Pierce that would work, because Pierce doesn't have flank attacks like that. So I love seeing that evolution in Pierce's strategy. But if he just had a normal battle line coming up, I think Charlie would have been able to